Well, Rita and James, modern Australia began as a penal colony, and now Scott Morrison looks like he's turning it back into another one, keeping us locked up indefinitely. This is a disgrace. What happened, Rita, to 3 weeks to flatten the curve?
Oh, gosh, that's a distant memory, isn't it? This is the front page of the Sunday Herald Sun today. We are going to be locked up indefinitely. We have no exit date now for this fortress we've created, which we seem to be very proud of. But as the rest of the world gets vaccinated and as we get vaccinated, there seems to be no game plan to rejoin the rest of the world. This is frightening stuff, but it is electorally popular. And I think the media's got some answers to explain here as well, because I think we've played quite a role in flaming the scaremongering and basically going hysterical with each new case of COVID, whether it's something
Rita,
that's mild, doesn't end up in hospitalisation.
Speak for yourself, Rita. Speak for yourself, Rita. We haven't on this show, and I certainly haven't at The Spectator, but maybe other people in the media have. James,
the bulk of the media.
Have you been firing up the fear?
I'm sorry, Rita. The bulk of the blame for this has to go on the head of one man, and that is Scott Morrison. Scott Morrison has told us all that we now live in Ozcatraz, all right? This is a prison island that we're on. We have to ask permission to leave, and we have no sense of being able to get out any time soon. Scott Morrison has made himself a political prisoner to panicky premiers like Mark McGowan and Anastasia Palaszczuk, and as a result, he's made us political prisoners of his re-election hopes, and just figures that we're all going to have to spend the rest of our lives, or at least many, many years to come, just being satisfied to go to the Kiama blowhole for holidays because the rest of the world is just too scary and dangerous.
Hang on.
This even as Europe is preparing to welcome Americans this Northern Hemisphere summer, the rest of the world is opening up and moving on, and there's this false choice that people think there is. Oh, well, we stay locked up forever here, or we turn into India. Like there's no difference between the Indian and Australian healthcare systems or anything else. It's just nuts, and we have got to get out of this mentality. But there's an election coming. It appears to be politically popular. So you know what? Put your passports away for a while.
Yeah, well, listen, you make a good point, but first of all, I'm sticking up for the Kiama blowhole. I think it's fantastic. You can forget your Florence Uffizi galleries. Give me the Kiama blowhole any day. But James, you make
what does this mean for our?
The point here is 40%, some 40% of Australians have family overseas. This is the immigrant nation. That's what we are. How on earth can we be telling people that they cannot be going overseas to visit their family, their loved ones? If you're talking about some kind of indefinite fortress Australia, you're talking about people who will never get the chance, possibly ever, to see elderly parents or loved ones who might die in the interim. This is a disgrace. We'll be speaking later in the program to Andrew Cooper from Liberty Works, who actually this week went to the High Court, the full bench of the High Court of Australia, to get our borders open. So we'll be talking to him. That'll be fascinating. Rita, sorry.
Well, what becomes of our tourism industry? That's what I want to know. This isn't some small, fringe, little niche industry. This is an industry that employs tens of thousands of people, that has a profound impact on our economy. If we're going to be locked up indefinitely, if we're going to require people, even once they're vaccinated, to submit to 2 weeks of quarantine when they come in here, then our tourism sector is dead. It's buried. It's only going to be sustained by domestic travel, and that is not sustainable for what we have built in this country.
James.
And just to add to that, I mean, the solution, obviously, Rita, is that we're supposed to just print more money, and that will solve the problem.
We'll be doing that on Tuesday, James. Don't worry.
Keep bailing out.
Tuesday, we are printing so much money on Tuesday. You watch. The printing presses are churning that money out.
That money printer's going.
Getting it going. Tuesday, there'll be money like you can't see from here to breakfast, James. So don't worry about the money.
Don't worry
Carry
about the
on.
money, sure, except, though, we're going to be paying off this debt forever, and there is the looming specter of inflation, which we're going to have to talk about at some point because there is so much money sloshing around. But we do also need to think, it's not just tourism. It's all of these other things that have all been predicated. Remember, when, they talked about this at the start, they said, we expect by October this year to be opening up to the world. Now they're saying indefinitely. Scott Morrison was saying as recently as January and February of this year, the strategy was suppression, not elimination. And now he has basically come out and said, no, he's explicitly said elimination. True. This is a very big change of messaging by the Prime Minister, but I think that this is all, has been told to him by focus groups. It's now a focus group government because they are now in full-on election mode,
right
and they're smashing that panic button as hard as they can to stay in power.